Hey, how you doing? This is Tom, and this is Tom's Reading Room Show, and I'm glad to be back, getting much better. I belong to the Amazon Kindle Unlimited library, and what that is, if you have a Kindle, or you can download a program, which is what you're seeing right now, for your PC to read these books from the Kindle library on Amazon. Now, not all of their Kindle books are a part of this membership deal, but a large quantity are. And they take books off and on this special deal where you can download them for free, and you're allowed to download 10 books or magazines at a time. And then if you want another one, you have to return one. So it's kind of like a library where they limit you to checking out 10 books at a time. And it's $9.95 a month. I've been a member for about 3 or 4 years. Lately, I have not been using it, so that's not very cost effective. So this morning, I thought, well, let me get back on there and see what new books are on there that I haven't looked at. And I ran across, and of course I'm always searching for things about radios and scanners and antennas. I ran across this series right here. There's 49 of these magazines, and I just picked one. This is June 1984. They have them as early as, or as late as, beginning of 2018. So this is not the most recent one by any chance, but I saw a scanner radio on there, and then the article is an introduction to scanning. I thought, man, let me just see what they would have about scanner radios in a CB magazine. Now, this magazine is published, or was published, I don't know if it still exists or not, in Britain. I think they have stopped publication, but as I mentioned, there are magazines as late as 2018 on Amazon to download. Anyway, and you can buy them, of course, if you don't want to be a part of that club, I'll call it, library club. So I'm just going to quickly scan through this. Now, before I do that, let me tell you a little bit about my dark side. Back in the early 70s, I got into CB radio. I don't know how. I don't know if it's a friend, or I think it might have been a neighbor that got me into it. And I got a little 5-watt transceiver, and initially just had a little vertical antenna that I mounted to the side of the house. Then I upgraded, and that was a 23-channel CB radio, and then I upgraded to a 40-channel with single sideband and a Yagi antenna. So I could make pretty good distance. Now, I believe the laws were that you could only have communications for a certain distance, like maybe 25 miles. It's kind of fuzzy, but that's kind of remember. I remember you couldn't do long-distance QSOs. But there was a lot of people during the craze that were into doing that. And my neighbor, whoever, got me into that, and I was communicating with stations like in California. And my handle, remember this is my dark side, my handle was Midnight Monitor. And I used to do the old QSL where you send cards, exchange cards about reception reports and communications and stuff. I was heavy into it for about a year. And then another friend of mine says, it's not really legal what you're doing, but you can do it legally by getting a ham license. And I'll help you get your license. So I got my ham license. I sold off all my CB stuff and got some used ham radio stuff and started doing that. Anyway, that's my history. Now, let's take a look at this magazine, see what's in here. Got to remember how to use this reader. It's been a while. So like I say, this is June 1984. And there's an advertisement. And let's see, how do I zoom? I haven't used this in a while. Zoom. Control plus plus. No, that's a bummer. Why can't I just... Oh, well. So we got Q&A scanner update. CB in Sweden. Can't read that word. QSL, and a bunch of other things. Okay, a bunch of... Let's go to what they got about scanners. That's what I was interested in. So let's just skip down there. There's a bunch of ads. So this, again, this publication is in Britain, or out of Britain. Let's see, where's the beginning of this? There it is. Scanner update. I think I have this scanner right here. Looks very familiar. So these are pretty old scanners based on today. There's the antenna. I remember going to the local... There's a scanner. Where'd I go? Where'd it go? I saw a scanner there. It caught my eye. Oh, boy, it jumped around there. Oh, well. What was I saying? Oh, I remember back when I was into CB radio, I went to the CB radio store. Oh, there it is right there. I've been trying to grab one of these scanners. It looks pretty unique. I'm into unique old scanners, and I've been trying to catch one of those on eBay, but most of them are pretty beat up. Anyway, so I went to this local CB store, and they had a special on CB antenna grease. And you smear this grease on your antenna, and it was supposed to increase the gain of the antenna as far as transmitting power. I think that was a snake oil kind of thing. So anyway, so I just wanted to show you this. Like I say, I'm not into CB radio. If some of you that are watching are into CB radio and just want to make a comment about, what's going on in CB radio, I have, over the past year, tuned one of my SDRs to that band, and there wasn't any activity in my area. Now, I do have a gentleman that lives, I use that term loosely, that lives about a block from me, and he's got a 40-foot tower with a huge CB antenna beam on the top of that. And when he broadcasts on his CB radio, I pick him up on one of my speakers. That there's nothing, there is something connected to the speakers, but the radio is off. So he is inducing his signal into the coils of that speaker, and I'm picking up just like I had tuned him in on a radio. It blows my mind. And so I just have to wait till he stops communicating. And he usually doesn't communicate very long. So he's got that big antenna, and he's probably pumping a lot more than 5 watts into it. And oh my gosh, he comes booming in. And of course, it's the CB jive, Anyway, I don't want to offend anybody that's into CB radio. If you stay within the constraints of the regulations of CB, I'm fine with it. It's just like him, he's blasting the neighborhood with his signal. Not good. Anyway, how did I get off on that? But anyway, this is just, let me go back to my library. This is just one of the books, in this case, of magazines that you can get. Either directly pay for it or check it out using this, I call it Book of the Month. It's actually, you can check out 10 books at a time and as many as you want, as long as you return one, so that you only have 10 at a time. So I've looked at, reviewed, and I've showed you many of these books on my shows, hundreds and hundreds of books, and mostly on stuff related to my channel. But like here, I got diabetes, so I get diabetes books out of that library. Again, free. I get books on the Adreno, which I have as a little gizmo that I'm playing with. Here's some electronic projects. Now, you'll see on this page I've got more than 10. That's because either I have gone ahead and purchased it, or one of my subscribers has purchased it for me to do a review. I've done a review on most of these down here. And you see I've got quite a few that have in my library. And like I say, I paid or somebody paid for many of these. Like, here's my garden book. I paid for that one. It was like 99 cents or something like that. And like this one here is the ARRS publication that somebody purchased for me to review. And there's a ton of books out there, and on all different subjects. So check it out. You can use my Amazon store. The link to my store is below each of my videos. And if you do that, I get a small commission if you purchase something. If you use that link, you can, when you go to Amazon, you could purchase anything and I get a commission, as long as you don't leave Amazon. Once you leave it, then it's all reset. And I don't have an individual store, so to speak. I've just got a web page on Amazon, so you're dealing directly with Amazon all the time. No extra charge. It helps support my channel so that I can purchase things like radios and scanners to review. So much for the advertisement. Have a great day. Bye-bye.